Hi, I want to talk today about scrupulosity. Scrupulosity is basically obsession with sin. It's got a religious context to it. And I think this is a really interesting subtopic of OCD. And actually, the history of it is quite fascinating too. Freud was he's one of the guys you can kind of blame a lot in terms of how therapy was a long time ago for people with OCD and how it really had kind of a awful effect on it, because he was using like psychoanalysis and that kind of thing, and the worst thing you could do is try to find logic or reasoning for obsession, because the truth is there isn't any. And really, if logic worked, we'd all be able to rationalize our thoughts and be a lot happier, but it's got nothing to do with how smart you are. It's completely irrational. So that kind of set things back a little bit. But then as time went on, people switched over and used sort of a cognitive behavioral context, and things were a lot more successful in terms of results. So that's awesome. But back to the scrupulosity thing. For me, I was really afraid of a lot of, I guess, religious stuff, and I felt like I was sinning all the time. And it was quite upsetting, especially because I didn't really believe in a lot of the religious stuff that I was kind of practicing, but I was afraid to get out of it because I thought that I was doing something wrong. And that's kind of a huge thing with a lot of religions, especially Catholicism. A lot of that is based on guilt and shame, and those are two things that if you have OCD, it's a big player in your pain. So once I decided to let that go and be true to myself and just believe whatever I felt was right, a lot of those obsessive thoughts revolving around sin really went away. And that's the thing, being true to yourself and figuring out who you really are is not going to cure OCD at all, but it really made things a lot easier for me to deal with, because I was able to truly understand which of my thoughts were really irrational and which ones maybe weren't so irrational. And anyone that tells you that it's your fault, or that it's, and I've heard this before, I'm not making this up, a demonic possession, or you're sinning and this is God's way of punishing you, tell them to fuck off, because it's not true. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. It's not sin, and it sure as hell isn't God, or whatever else. And really just be proud of who you are, even the OCD part, which I know is kind of not supposed to be proud of. But it's so important. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud to be an atheist. I'm proud to be bisexual. And you know what? I'm proud to have OCD too, because I'm a strong person because of it.